That's also a challenge, and it is a challenge that so many HR have. And again, we have so many HR people, they may not be practicing because they are in other jobs, but if there is that now opportunity for even on board having HR who are able to train or to change the minds of people. For example, you went to school and did this. It is not a must that you have to. Very few people actually work for what they went to do in the education, because education is basically about enlightening people, opening you up so that you can do more, so that you can do ABCD, you can do so many things. So what I can encourage the people who are educated, especially the people who have at least a Form 4 certificate, do not become choosy with work or jobs. Maybe your talent is not necessarily maybe on a certain field of which you studied, maybe in college. Maybe your talent is somewhere else. So what I can encourage young people, because we have so many of them, most of them very educated, if you are given an opportunity, serve. And also the HR, it's high time we come and motivate employees, because you find that also the HR sector, you find they have also failed somehow becoming so disciplinarians. You find that a HR, as opposed to motivating staff and also training them on how they can be more productive, they are so involved in becoming like a punishment. They are very punitive, mishandling. The morale of the staff is eroded, which is very bad. So, but these are things that also come with corruption, because, for example, you are a HR manager, that job you did not get it through merit. You find that person is just mechanical, and eventually the production of the whole, let's say, a company is not there. And another thing that I can encourage the government when dealing with companies are also should be like assistants to the government, because you find the government also relies on let's say companies, because the government can't employ everybody. They can employ just a few. They also need to have forums with employers, so that they can also encourage them how to handle labor. Yeah, right. And also to incorporate the HR, which is a very important department in any company. And that is also is done by the government. For sure, there will be more productivity.
Right.
Yeah.
The government has been focusing more on the technical side of things and encouraging TVETs, you know, pumping money into TVETs, encouraging people to enroll into TVETs. This sector, the construction sector, uses a lot of technical skills.
Sure.
What do you think these investments that the government is doing right now will do for the sector in maybe even a few years' time?
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much. For example, we were talking of importing machines as opposed to taking our raw product and bringing them back here. And those people who will be trained are those people who have at least a basic certificate of KCSE and at least an extra course. And for example, if you are interested in machine operations, operating such machines that we are encouraging, you also need to have at least a certain skill. And that skill can be acquired very easily in TVET. So it is the right direction to take people after they have left Form 4, because you find also a majority of our young people, once they leave Form 4, they do not have an opportunity to continue with the education. But it's very important and it's very good to have at least an extra course. You have computers, you have a driving, and maybe an extra course of let's say a mechanic and such, and that is what TVET is doing. What I can encourage such TVETs is now again not only to focus on the technical, not making the people technical, but also making the people wholesome. Let them have maybe a subject or a department that is looking on people's well-being of the mind, making those people not only mechanical, but also people who are reasoning and understanding why they are doing what they are doing. For example, you can have somebody who is who is a mechanic and is making a car. That person, as much as they are doing a mechanical work, that person, you can make them become even more productive by training them, let's say, financial literacy. This thing that you are doing, you are working very hard, but you also need to plan for your future, because you will not be young forever. you'll continue to grow old. So as you continue even increasing your expertise, it is also important you also plan yourself. You start a family, you do. So we do not have like people who are operating like robots. You have people who have gone to TVETs, but they are actually even more dangerous than useful, because they have a lot of energy, they have a lot of skills, but their mentor and there's that soft spot of making somebody a human. You know, you can be a person but not a human. You are very mechanical. You are designed to operate in a certain way, and you find other people have been made in such a way. But if you now put that soft skill of encouraging people's financial literacy, things to do with the family, the importance of a family, the importance of relating with people, how to coexist with other people very well, how to network, how to socialize, that these schools should not only teach things that we used to, and we have seen we have changed our curriculum. We want people to be more human than operating in a certain way like a machine.
Right.
Yeah.
So the government, I mean, you are a player in the industry. What would you like, or what would you petition the government to do to support the private sector more?
Sure. Yeah, what we can petition the government to do is, first of all, we people who are doing the affordable housing as private developers, we first of all, we need to hold hands with the government. The government needs to support private developers, because what we are doing is one of the agendas. And we have seen it has worked very well for hospitals, private hospitals, for private schools. It has worked very well. A private school, you will see it is given, it is just like a normal government school. It has all the support. If it is the education, everything, they are catered for. So we hold the hands for the private developers. And one thing that I can encourage is for the manufacturing of those affordable materials, and those are precast slabs and stones and all those things, cabros and what have you, so that they can be able to manufacture themselves, and by so doing they'll be able to bring down the cost of construction. There also needs to be a certain standard, so that the private developers, they do not say they are affordable, but they are in business exploiting people. Once they have made a certain, they have stabilized, you find like the cost of the price of houses shoots. Like a company that was selling a house at 4 million automatically now goes to 8 million, 10 million. You find there is people, maybe somebody who was planning to get a house in 10 years, then you find in that 10 years the houses that they could have, despite the inflation, at least there is that the price, a price cap for when you are talking of affordable. Then we have those that are known for doing affordable. They are supported. For example, those machinery, they are given, and they are taught. They have the people who are coming from TVET trained, and they are employed by that company. Then
right. As we come to a close of this conversation, George, what is your outlook for the future, and what do you look for the construction sector to achieve in especially achieving that affordable housing goal the government has?
Sure. Thank you very much. The future is bright, and this is because I think the government is now speaking what we have been speaking as private developers, and that is taking affordable housing very seriously, because it has a ripple effect on all the other sectors, including agriculture, including security, including healthcare, including job creation. Yeah, and what I can encourage the government, let's hold hands with private developers, so that even the issue of land, we can give land to where we need those houses done. We give, let's play hand in hand with the government, because at the end of the day, we are working to make the lives of Kenyans better, to create a better economy for our country. So if we do it now consciously, we do not guesswork or leave everybody doing their own thing. We have certain frameworks. For sure the future is bright, but if we just leave it to they are just agendas in the manifestos, and there are no policies and there is no following up, for sure we may just be doing not much. But if we take it a notch higher, we come with frameworks, we hold hands with the private developers, for sure we know, we as Mizizi Africa Homes Limited, we can be taken as a pilot. We have done it, and there are a good number of people who are enjoying the fruits, And again, this is not something that can be left to the government. The government is looking up to the people. So if the government supports us, as we also work to what the people want, for sure, the future is bright.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, George, for your sentiments and sharing that knowledge with us.
Thank you. Pleasure.
That is George Mburu. He is the Chief Executive Officer at Mizizi Africa Homes. We have been talking about matters of affordable housing and how the government is supposed, or rather what the government should do to achieve the 250,000 units vision annually. That is quite an ambitious